Welcome to Evolving Loudly, where we grow, expand, reflect, and become stronger together. Today we're talking about anxiety, not as a destructive force, but as an invitation, an opportunity to grow into a stronger, wiser, and more aligned version of ourselves. As a woman, especially, we are often taught to hold it together, to push past our feelings, to smile, to stay strong, to keep going, and to show up in our best version for others, no matter what. And then, out of nowhere, anxiety shows up. Sometimes quietly, sometimes loud and destructive, and many times extremely overwhelming. Especially for strong women, often we perceive anxiety as a weakness. But what if anxiety isn't a glitch in the system? What if anxiety shows up when something within us needs attention? It's like our inner GPS saying, hey, slow down, something is off. Please listen. It's not a weakness anymore, it's a feedback. It's like our body and soul talking to us, not to scare us, but to save us. The moment we stop labeling anxiety as a weakness and start to seeing it as a message, everything shifts. It stops feeling like a threat, it becomes a guide. So next time, when you feel that rise, that tension in your chest, that rush of unease, instead of rushing to shut it down, to run away, to hide, slow down, get curious, listen, and maybe ask, what is the context? What just happened? Why am I reacting this way? What am I afraid of? Those questions will bring you back to yourself. When we slow down, when we bring compassion instead of control, curiosity instead of criticism, we begin to turn anxiety from something that destroy our emotional stability and drive us toward choices that don't align with our truths into something that direct us. So pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? Let's be real. A little bit of the stress in healthy anxiety is completely normal. It's even helpful. That being said, it's the very things that makes us double check our work, prepare harder for a meeting, or pay attention to our surrounding when something feels off. It keeps us sharp, it keeps us present, it's our inner protector doing what it's meant to do. But the moment anxiety becomes a constant state of being, when it lingers in the background all day, when you can't fall asleep or wake up at night with a tight chest because your mind won't stop racing, that's not a protection anymore. That's not just a stress anymore. That's a chronic state of anxiety. So what does it mean? In the reality, it's a strong signal of your body and your mind that your nervous system is stuck in the survival mode. Your body can't tell the difference between the real threat and the perceived one. So now your body, your entire being, is begging you, begging for safety, for stability, for peace. And the problem is, many times we start to normalize this noise. We learn to function in a flight or fight mode, and we push through it. But deep down, you are exhausted. So let's face it, this is a time when anxiety stops being a helpful signal and starts interfering with your life, your clarity, your relationship, and your ability to just be. So, if you have been living like this with anxiety every single day, just know that you are not broken. You have just been in a survival mode for too long, that your body simply is begging for safety. Your body is simply begging for reset. But once you realize that the signal isn't a dysfunction, but a survival system doing its best to protect you, you begin to understand why you feel that way. Anxiety is not your flaw. It's also not because you are weak. It's because you are human. And we all feel it. Why? Because anxiety has a purpose to protect us. Your nervous system is wired to detect threats, real or perceived ones. Back in the cave times, it kept us safe and alive. These days, anxiety is a reaction to things like judgment, rejection, failure, or not feeling enough in the world of high expectations. The world has changed, but your body still wants to keep you safe. That is why anxiety shows up, not to punish you, but to protect you. When you understand that, you stop fighting it. You meet it with compassion instead of fear. You begin to heal and truly wake up to yourself. The cost of suppression can be terrifying and very heavy. But when you begin to listen, you begin to heal. But what happens if you don't? What happens when you keep pushing it down, pretending it's not there? And we all do that in some times. We all train to suppress it, to smile through discomfort, to hold it all in, to power through exhaustion, fear, tears, burnout, and pretend everything's simply fine. But what is really happening when you keep suppressing your anxiety? It doesn't disappear. It begins to build up in your body, in your mind, and even in your soul. It shows up as a fatigue, brain fog, emotional reactivity, or even physical pain. And often it expresses itself as a physical pain in a physical body. You become more sensitive, more tense, more overwhelmed. And the harder you suppress it, the louder it shows up. Suppression not only makes the effects stronger and more pronounced, but it also delays the healing. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You can only push it down for so long before it will explode to the surface. And I want you to feel that. In a real life, expressing doesn't mean necessarily exploding. It means recognizing. It means giving your anxiety, your feelings, your emotions a safe place to be seen and to be heard through journaling, movement, breath work, or conversation with someone safe. When you stop bearing your anxiety into the silence, you release pressure. And you really need to find a healthy outlet to release. A simple but very effective thing you can do is to breathe deeper. As you breathe, you begin to feel lighter, emotionally and physically. And this is actually where the freedom begins. Not by suppressing what you feel, but by understanding it. And that takes us to the next point. To truly understand and heal anxiety, we need to know where it's coming from. Because many times the signal doesn't come from the outside at all, because often the trigger is internal. Let's be honest, it's easy to blame your anxiety on what's happening around you. Demanding schedule, challenges at work, a difficult conversation, unreciprocated love, or financial pressure. But more than often, anxiety is steered by what's happening within us. Our thoughts, our memories, our negative self-talk, our beliefs about who we are and whether we are enough. You might be sitting in a quiet room, no conflict, no noise, no obvious threat, and still feel that wave of anxiety rushing in. Why? Because your body remembers all hurtful past experiences, your old wounds which never healed. Your mind is cycling through all fears. And then unconsciously, you start projecting all of it into your future. Your nervous system is simply reacting to something unresolved within you, even if nothing is happening right now. This is why healing anxiety isn't just about managing your environment. It's about creating safety inside yourself, reclaiming your power, recognizing that your storm is not necessarily outside, it's maybe inside, and it's in your power to calm it. You can shift it. You don't have to wait for the world to change to feel peace. Remember, the past is not equal the future. And I will repeat it again. Remember, the past is not equal the future. So, by recognizing the source of stress and anxiety, whether it is outside or inside, it's a beginning of healing and becoming the whole again. Anxiety isn't your enemy anymore. It's your inner compass. It's pointing you inward, not to fear, but to find the truth. When you stop fighting and start listening, you reclaim your voice, your body, and your choices. And from the place of alignment, you start building a new life. Not just one that looks good, but one that feels deeply right. And here is something beautiful. When you begin to understand and honor your own emotional world, everything else changes, especially your relationships. And this is not magic. When you stop abandoning yourself, you stop tolerating connections that ask you to shrink and become smaller. The more self-aware and self-aligned you become, the more naturally you attract love that meets you on that level. Not that love that drains, demands, or distorts, but the love that respects, expands, and nourishes. In the next video, we will go deeper into what it really means to reclaim your personal strength. We dive into how to understand your emotional signals, which can help you to choose a right partner, the right one who sees you, values you, and walks beside you. The new version, the empowered one, not the anxious, shrinking version of you used to be. Because your next chapter isn't about being chosen. It's about choosing yourself first. She's strong, and she's still here, and she's ready to rise. If this conversation stirred something primal in you, a truth you have been waiting to remember, subscribe, and let's keep rising together. Strongly, unapologetically, powerfully, and loudly.